Hey there, YouTube. WhiskeyCactus here, welcoming you back to our Let's Play of the Letter. This is episode number 38, and we're getting dangerously close to this becoming the longest series on this channel. So we are still in the Ashton chapter, which seems like it's been going on for about 30 episodes, but that's not true. So I'm going to load this game up. And we are in the middle of some shit. So we are in... over here. This is the one. We are in the mansion, and we've had some ghosty shit happening to us in the mansion. We got everybody here. We have the Scooby Gang and Marianne, and we just heard Luke Wright's voice. We don't know where Hannah is, but we just heard Luke Wright's voice. So things are about to happen. Oh geez, I forgot we were in the middle of scary music. Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. That's Luke. If you paid attention last time, if you watched the last episode, you would know that was Luke. They don't repeat the voice acting on the line again, but here we go.
People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it?
I absolutely cannot believe it, Luke. You are so in the right.
I feel so left out.
Indeed. A chill seeps into every vein in my body. All of a sudden, every ache, every pain returns to me tenfold, and my knees threaten to buckle at the sound of his voice. Keep in mind, we've been through a whole bunch of shit with ghost stuff, and a mansion where the rooms just seem to randomly change. And now we have to deal with Luke, which is worse than all of that, combined. Though it appears friendly, I know it is anything but. One does not spend investigating a man like him for over a year, and holding a grudge against him for more, without knowing everything about him. Quirks, his habits, I'm familiar with all of them. And right now, Luke fucking Wright is beyond pissed. Shifting my gaze upwards is nearly too painful, knowing the danger. Not to me, but to those who have been lured in here by the curse. Oh shit, he's got a gun. He has got a gun. This is, less than ideal. I think we're just gonna go ahead and do one of these. Let's just do one of those real quick. The handgun catches my eye first. Next to that, next to that smarmy smile on his face, while he holds McCullough, Zach, Rebecca, and Isabella at gunpoint. Its sight enough to lodge a painful thorn up my throat. That was a very odd turn of phrase there, Ashton. I've been too complacent, too focused on other things, that I've completely set aside the fact that the scumbag will not be too pleased to see us here without knowing our reasons. But even with those good intentions, curses, and ghostly apparitions aside, we're still trespassing in his home. I mean, the butler did try to kill us. Question is, if he's even aware that the whole of his household has somehow disappeared, and he might be the only one here. Likely not. Fuck. Even with people he knows among the crowd, there's a significant effort in him not to simply shoot everyone in sight.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Oh, don't even fucking go there. Kylie is the ghost. Maybe.
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Yeah, right. He'll believe it when he sees Hannah getting fucked over by the ghost.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home?
Because we want to steal all your shit, dude. That's what we want.
What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is?
Totally. We're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
That's not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman.
Oh, Jesus.
Can't say the same for the rest of you. But really now, I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you want to start the week.
It's exactly how I want to start the week.
Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
Normally it's Ashton raising death flags, but right now, Luke, I think maybe you want to stop with the jinxing a little bit. Alright. Casually, he waves the handgun at them as if it's just a mere toy, and his words are no threat. Safety's off on his. Nothing's stopping him from pushing through with his words. Call me paranoid, but at the slight gesture, I draw my own and level it at him, finger on the trigger and ready to release the safety catch in case things go south. Oh shit! Well, we got journal updated. Time for a fucking gunfight, Jesus Christ. Yo, what if we just shoot Luke? What if that just happens? What if there is no Luke chapter? After a long, desperate run in search of a way out, the house calmed down for some reason, and exit was finally in sight. Waiting on the other side, however, is this douche. Oh crap, hold on a sec. Sorry about that, my mouse was stuck. He is quick to train his own on me, though, and just like that, we're at a standstill.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall. You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Oh, gee. What do you mean by my kind, motherfucker? Shooting him right now will be so worth it. The way he stares at me like I'm a damn pest, but this isn't what I've come here for. I'm not a murderer. As much as I loathe him, I'm not the kind who will kill people in cold blood for my own gain or amusement. The law will bring him what he deserves one of these days. At the moment, however, we're all in the same boat with this curse, and he needs to understand that. The longer we stand here, the more time we're wasting and losing, something we don't have much of. But how can I convince him? With a choice, I'm imagining. This scum is so full of himself. Prefers to hear the sound of his own voice more than those of the people around him, no matter how much sense they make. Probably only way I can make him listen is if I beg. No way in hell that's happening. I figured. Alright. Well, we're gonna save, and then we're gonna decide. Well, Ashton seemed to think begging would work. So maybe we try begging. I don't want to beg him, I want to disarm him. We saved, so let's see what happens when we disarm him.
Sorry about this. I really don't have time for you.
I don't think twice. Within the span of a heartbeat, I'm moving and pulling on the trigger. Oh! 2 shots in quick succession echo across the whole foyer and both hit their mark true. Wright recoils with a sharp cry of pain. His pistol falls useless to the floor with a loud clank followed by drops of blood from his bleeding wrist.
Why, you insolent!
He's down in 2 successive steps when I tackle him to the floor, pinning him hard with my arm. Okay. Although before I can knock him out with a solid right hook, an agonized wail bursts through the tense air. Okay. So we're going to save that here. I'm going to go ahead and load from here. And we're going to see what happens if I beg him. Alright, my life's not the only one at risk here, however. There's Zach. There's Rebecca. There's Isabella. This is starting to seem like the right choice. McCullough's here as well. We're all unknowing victims to this fucking curse. I'm in no position to pick who to save and who I should simply let die. Suppose my pride can take a few hits, and I can set aside my beef with this asshole. Taking a deep breath, slowly I lower my pistol. They're still on the edge and at ready. In case he does something, I do my best to assume a less aggressive stance.
Listen, Wright. I need you to...
Well, we got an achievement for that. This seems like a better path so far.
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Well, not here in this moment at this exact specific time.
Look here, fucker.
Nice.
If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now. And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
Suddenly he laughs, almost howling in fact, like I've just told him the best joke he's heard all his life. The only thing missing is for him to keel over and start rolling around on the floor, all while I do my best not to sock him with the sorry end of my pistol.
You have guts, Feathers. You have guts. Did you hear what you just told me? You've just threatened me inside my own house. My own home. You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
Yeah, maybe. He's right on that, at least. I might have ended up like him if I didn't have Professor Andrew, Rebecca, Zach, and Isabella. One mistake and it would have been too late for me. With his laughter rings all of those possibilities I could have lived, but have never been given the choice. All because I have other people with me, people who care. Alright, so we don't get a ghost in this path. Yet, anyway. I'm interested. I'm interested to see where this goes. Sobering realization, but not so much when suddenly his chuckling stops. In 2 heartbeats, he marches toward me, grabs my collar, and aims his gun right at my head. Oh. Oh.
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
At this distance, a slight flick of that finger on the trigger will be able to do more than kill me.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the 2nd time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me, or has somebody paid you off to kill me? Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to need the business end of this gun.
Keep my eyes trained on him in spite of the huge threat he poses right now, because if there's anything people like him, like us, prefer, it's honesty. You don't give that impression without keeping solid eye contact.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Got him.
Why, you insolent!
His finger moves, but I'm prepared, my hand ready to reach up, disarm him, and knock him out. If I have to drag him out of this place unconscious to keep him from suffering the fates of every other person who has died from this curse, so be it. However, before either of us can fire a shot or tackle the other to the ground, another voice echoes through the foyer. Is this going to be the ghost? No, guess not. Small little thing compared to the storm raging outside, it rings above it nevertheless, causing all of us to stop and turn. Oh, it's Hannah! With the ghost. Oh! This is very different. Okay, well. So I'm curious. Hold on, before we get into this, I want to see if that's what happens here. Yeah. Loud enough to echo and the blah blah blah. Empty halls of the mansion. Piercing enough for every occupant in the foyer to cover their ears and close their eyes. Then all at once there are the images. However, there's no time to make sense of all of it. Amidst the discord and the noise, something whizzes by too close, too swift. A brief, keen blur that barely registers in my eyes, like an arrow quickly finding its mark and heading straight for...
Zach!
What? Time slows to a stop. In one moment of clarity, my body moves on its own, heart pounding hard against my ears, blood rushing through every vein, spurred only by adrenaline, in a desperate bid to reach him, and I don't even get to yell for him a second time. I don't even get to call his name. ... Oh, shit. Okay, well. Looks like we know what happens if we go down this route. Acute pain bursts through my chest in the next instant. All of a sudden, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm not, we'll save it, I guess. But I'm not gonna play that route. We are still trying to do the everybody lives route, so we're gonna go back over here. At least I know what happens that way. Alright, at the top of the staircase, Hannah Wright stands. To make matters worse, the things behind her menacing, a rotting hand wrapped firmly around her neck. She looks like death. Pale and shaky, eyes red with tears, we nearly don't hear her as she pleads.
Help me. Please.
Outside, another streak of lightning flashes and a clap of thunder ripples across the sky. As if this whole thing can't get any more foobar than it already is. Really? That seems a little, shoehorned in. That's fine. ... We have a new journal entry, though. Okay. What do we have here? This is the night of the journal entries. Makes sense, though. This is kind of the climax of the story. Alright, in spite of the danger Luke Wright posed at the moment, Ashton lowered his gun and assumed an imploring tone towards the man he hated. Amidst the tense air, a voice suddenly echoed in the foyer. There at the top of the grand staircase stood Hannah Wright. Now, I'm very interested because it kind of seems like this is the main event. This is where everything's happening. It's the final night, and we're all together in the mansion, and the ghost is here. But there's still a Luke chapter? Is that, am I correct in that? I feel like there can't possibly be a Luke chapter. Because what are we going to go back and play through other things and then get back to this point? I don't know. It seems weird. But we'll see, I guess. We'll just keep going. ... Well, fuck me. Fuck me. Okay. Guys, I couldn't have even planned that. I'm not funny enough to plan that. For real. Alright, I don't even know what day it is. I missed what day it was. But alright, well, we're on the Luke chapter that apparently exists, despite 3 seconds ago me doubting it. Alright, let's find out about this douche nozzle. Oh god, his birthday's August 2nd? That's so close to mine. Ew. Ew. Fuck. He's 31 years old. Height is 5'8". President and CEO, he is British, he's an atheist, raised Anglican. His education is a high school dropout, privately tutored. He likes bread pudding, dogs, wine and absinthe, piano playing, daffodils, money, women, and power. Imagine that. A prostitute's son, oh dear. He's got a past too, just like everybody. He spent his childhood roaming the streets, begging or pocketing in order to avoid home. Home meant a too-drunk mother and her equally drunk clients, some of whom would take to beating the child out of anger if he so much as looked at them wrong. That meant he was always in trouble in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of her son. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave, and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heirs, sought him out. He was trained to inherit Wright Enterprise, but along the way got mixed up with illegal activities. That put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hannah, so that's very interesting. That's actually very interesting. It doesn't endear him to me, whatever, but it's still interesting. I just realized I should have known that the Ashton chapter was about to end, because Ashton was just about to die. And that would have 100% been the end of his chapter anyway. So, okay. All that being said, I'm not going to do this with a British accent. To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day of work and a trip to the bar. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and coiled tight before trashing, shuddering, and shaking. I believe you mean thrashing. Shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed. Her mouth falls open and her eyes roll to the back of her head. It has the hallmark signs of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And that knowledge, with the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Any anger I had caused by our disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I ran to help her. Oh, so this is after Hannah has her interaction with the ghost. Which was after the dinner party. And that was the QuickTime event I still had no idea what the hell to do with. And wound up accidentally skipping it, apparently. And then Luke rushes in, and they kind of have a moment there, and then it switched over to Marianne's chapter after that. So I'm assuming we're going to see what happened with them in that time. None of that mattered at the moment. Yeah, here. Right. But to hold her close is all I can do while she thrashes about. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down. Yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm tired of hurting her, but I see no other way to help Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here. It takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped, but that doesn't make the dread go away.
Please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I'm so sorry.
The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist the knife in. It does not help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is...
Shh, it's alright. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
Alright, well that is where we left that before going to Marianne's chapter. So here we go. I guess we get to see all this kind of stuff now. It takes a bit to go through the house with my inebriated self. That's even made worse by the fact that I had to carry a nearly unconscious person as well. I was about to give up too, until Schrocken shows up to lighten the load. He quietly takes her from me without question and brings her up to the bedroom. And me, well, I couldn't bring myself to follow, not right now. Not while I'm drunk and rattled by what had transpired. It's a miracle I was able to help at all. So here I am, sulking in a parlor chair with a glass of wine in hand. Can't even remember what particular vintage it is, and I practically did not care right now.
Because when you're already drunk and still have problems, even more alcohol should help.
Totally. That is exactly the correct answer. Of course, the butler chooses now to appear and be unhelpful.
You know what actually solves all problems? Death. But it is not recommended.
I don't know about you right now, Johans. You tried to kill Ashen and Isabella.
Alcohol isn't a true solution either.
It's worked well enough for me.
I'd like to believe that I get my best ideas while I'm thoroughly hammered. Not everyone might agree, but they can't really do anything about it, can they? With a fuck ton of money comes great power, sometimes responsibility. And with that responsibility comes a lot of reasons to get drunk. Of course, I can just tell responsibility to sod off if I was feeling reckless, and Christ, I must be really drunk if I'm thinking in circles. Just need something to focus on and I should be fine.
How is she? Is she alright?
If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. It would be a show of weakness to be so frazzled, to show so much concern over a woman who is going to put me aside. People like him who work for me I trust with business, but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hannah has come so close. Only she has truly seen the man beneath the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Sleeping. Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But, if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you...
No, it wasn't me.
I mean... fair question. I'm quick to be on the defensive. I may be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her of all people. Never harm her of all people, no matter how angry I might become. I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her.
I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to.
You don't consider her wanting to be a part as reason?
It is it. Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now. But what happens was I got home. She was seasoned in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor. But I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning. We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up and...
Oh god, things are coming back to me. I need a drink.
Really? You're still drinking?
Hey, Mr. Judgy McJudgerson, why don't you go judge somebody else?
Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I? After all, I've just found my wife having a seizure, and I shouldn't give two shits about it. Not when she's about to leave me.
But I do. Goodness, I do. A big generous gulp. We got smash drunk achievement. That's pretty cool. Big generous gulp just makes it so that the taste of cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue. The thing too sweet considering its deceptively earthy aroma. Velna's Vineyard Seasoned Red. Apologies to all wine people. Isn't really something to scoff at. I've had many good memories with this particular drink. This particular bottle, in fact, was a gift. It serves the purpose Lady Blairno had given it to me for. To forget. At the same time, Whether I took this bottle or a Pinot Noir, it is just a means to an end. I will probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunker than I already am. That's usually how alcohol works, Luke.
But no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If she wants her time apart, she'll have it.
It'll break my heart just to let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she? We both deserve this much.
She's had her uses.
Oh, okay. She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. There might have been a time, too, when I considered taking her out of the picture so that I could do with the money as I pleased. I planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I had changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft. Maybe I have. Does it matter? 7 long years. Had its ups and downs, and certainly hasn't been a perfect marriage. We had our fights. Who hasn't? But those small moments where we could just laugh and be our happy selves were always magical. They made all these years worth it, and I had seen many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? I've loved only 2 women in my life. Mother dear, bless her soul, and Hannah, who has been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I fear that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother, or any of the other numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it is bias of me to doubt so. I don't think I can ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised that you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
Oh dear, do tell.
Oh, she might know something. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now. If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hannah's a smart woman.
Smart, kind, hardworking, generous, loyal. I can go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with the stuff.
Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything.
Lonely? Oh, I suppose there's no harm.
With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pour some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own with my muddled brain that I barely noticed sloshing some of it and staining my suit. It'll be an utter bugger to clean, so I'm glad that isn't my problem. Handing it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eye is damp, glazed over, though I won't let it go further than that. Raising my own glass for a toast, I clear my throat.
We drink to... Do we really need a reason to? The world is messed up. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and love lost. The world is a cesspool. Might as well be drunk if we're going to drown in it.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but zum Wohl.
A sip. A gulp. Refill. Rinse and repeat until the bottle of Velnay has barely a fifth left. Must have drunk most of it because I barely see Shrocken take a sip after his first glass. Certainly feels that way. I don't even think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all legless. My mind just feels so funny, and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell, I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers. Oh dear. With the butler also standing up, he looks like a skyscraper from where I'm seated.
Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler.
I have a great alcohol tolerance, so this, seeing how I'm a giggling wreck right now, is, I assume, really bad. Any sober part left to me, it'd probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. Especially wine drunk, oh god. That's the worst. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of moonlight peeking through the curtains, shiny and shimmery and absolutely splendid. Even if the night brought calm, it is the moon that always enamored me so. It is a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine.
I want to go out and look at the moon. Mummy, I can't feel my legs.
Mutter, I am not. Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed.
You might.
I didn't even do nothing. I did my best to behave decent. Whiskey and Mint are just good friends, that's all. And that Rochelle woman's baby isn't mine. I swear, I couldn't love any other woman than Hannah. Hannah must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such. I don't want Hannah to leave me, Joe. Oh God, she's the love of my life, you know? I'm a shy human being without her. I should... Flowers. Lots and lots of flowers.
That'll do it. That'll totally do it.
All of the flowers.
All of the flowers.
Enough to make the Queen's Gardens look like a fucking dumpster fire in comparison.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All well and good, but you are not achieving any of that while you are lying on the carpet. Now, if you could lift your skinny ass and work with me. 1, 2, 3.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight.
I should just let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst.
Indeed. Okay, well, we have an updated journal entry, ... We have... Where are we at? This music is not making me feel warm and fuzzy. It was back here, I saw that. Okay. Luke left Hannah in Johann's care after the incident at the kitchen. Pissed off at the recent events and a possible divorce looming at the horizon, he dedicated the rest of his day to getting hammered, stopping only after his butler intervened. Alright. All the dots.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Come on, Mommy, wake up. I want to be in that play. Mommy, wake up. You promised that you'd help me practice my lines today. The auditions are tomorrow, so I have to practice to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to Dusty. Mommy, are you all...
Something tells me she probably wasn't okay. I choke back a scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. Oh dear. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It'll take a bit more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy, though, when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hug the sheets, Hannah.
It better not be the ghost. Is it gonna be the ghost? It's gonna be the fucking ghost, isn't it? Motherfucking ghost. Fucking ghost. She always did this, though it hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hannah exuded on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. It's because you're sleeping next to a corpse! Must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill, though I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You'll need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in the loop,
Yep.
so if you can give me a moment.
Yup, that's about what I thought. There's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. Oh. Okay. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed, after all. To pull back the covers would be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's gonna be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than I can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, though it could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hannah and myself out of here, not look back, and let security handle it. That's what they're here for. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hannah in danger. But what's the worst that could happen, right? I have no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeyman under the bed, no monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me. Yeah, well, you keep up that attitude, Luke. Right? Grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside, and it's like, ghost! What is happening? Okay. Okay. Well, great. Where are we at? Here we go. Luke woke up in the middle of the night with a scream and in cold sweat. Finding comfort in the warm body next to his, he tried to get back to sleep and forget the images plaguing his mind until Hannah called out from the loo. Oh dear, nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. Mad people don't think they're going mad, do they? Could very well be the stress getting to me. All this drama with Hannah. I've been doing well all these years, all things considered. I guess I do have a breaking point. But still, the world goes on even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. The great philosopher did say, "Ooh, yeah, life goes on, long after the thrill of living is gone." I suppose a day off, or 2 tomorrow. How does one take 2 days off tomorrow? Wouldn't hurt. Rest aside from a few hours of sleep would be welcome, more than. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, that something will come creeping and crawling from under the bed, even as I lay back down and close my eyes. Oh dear. I would like to not think about that, please and thank you. Alright, it is October 30th. The odd dreams don't linger, thankfully. I feel like we have to speed through these last couple of days to get back to that climax. But with the morning comes another disturbance, both too loud and too sharp for my taste. It's Zach, right? And I have very fine tastes. When the piercing ring of a doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only good thing in this is that the ruckus has chased away the needling guilt from last night's commotion, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day. It hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There will be a murder today. Doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe is intent on getting on my nerves as of late.
God and Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
Oh, there's Zach. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why we have a valet, for fuck's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is how long Hannah's patience with me will last after the incident at the party. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chill spreading across every room in the place. There's no place for fear when another set of problems already burns that fuel. So I wait another second. When no butler still answers my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. Hi. I remember this from your side of things. I particularly remember that Luke was very cloudy with ghosty aura when he answered the door. And maybe it should be appropriately there. Maybe it should be appropriate there? Appropriate? I don't know the context. It seems awkward. Considering the person on the other side and the hour he dared appear on my doorstep. Even someone with half a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah will disapprove, scold me for treating the photographer with such disrespect if she hears me right now. She seems fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'll say, but she's not here, is she? Which she doesn't know.
You? How the hell did you get in here? What in 7 hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
Probably not. I think he's been up like all night or something. This is still my home. My rules also apply to this place as much as Hannah's do. Simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
Just so happens it's also a person I will never take a liking to. No need for
Come
remorse.
back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
He continues shouting even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately, though I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed door muffling the better part of it, and with no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves, and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental, just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds. Nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Truckin will take care of it if need be. Well, we know what that means now, apparently. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand, the hangover. Maybe I'll have some absinthe to temper it. Ha 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 ha. That works. Dog hairs. Or some wine to help me get back to sleep. It's still early. 1 glass won't hurt. Uh-huh. Or 2. Yeah. Whatever the case, I need to think whatever that will lead me to. It's nothing. Everything leads to nothing. Except for this pounding headache, as if my mind will burst at any time and leak out of my ears. My vision swims in and out of view. So he's drunk again! Great. Perfect. My stomach threatens rebellion with plans of making me throw up what little food I've taken in with how my mouth feels. Like it's filled with cotton. One would think the fact that I'm hungover would make me the grumpiest person in the room. But as it is, my eyes move over to Hannah, who is stirring sugar into her tea and scowling down at it, all the while, as if it just murdered a baby in front of her. At some point, we have to cue the crying ghost, I think, right? Because didn't Zach hear that? Well, he was outside, I believe. I have half a mind to bemoan my current state and make a fool of myself just to make her smile. And I'm rather good at bemoaning. Not that I would admit that. Why, I'm already adopting the posture of a whiny teenager as I speak, slouched forward, with my cheek on the table.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh, God, I'm dying. Hannah? Johan's, call an ambulance, please. Let it be known that I leave all my belongings to Hannah right near Evans. Everything but 30,000 quid. But oh, I see a bright light. I see a farm. Mother dearest, is that you? Little Lucille is on his way home. I'm so sorry, but I must leave you, Hannah. Cover my face. Your eyes dazzle. I die young.
End scene. That much I can manage through the hangover, a thing entirely of my fault, considering I've twice drunk the night before. Another thing I will never admit, really it's a miracle I haven't accrued alcohol poisoning yet.
Oh, stop being so melodramatic, Luke. Besides, you never lived in a farm. You hate farms. We are not bringing you to the hospital for a hangover. Really. One would think you'd be used to it by now with how stubborn you are about your drinks.
Got him.
Dare I ask what the 30,000 quid is for, though?
Pulls a small smile from her for a moment, but the pinched look on her face returns quickly enough.
He lost a bet with Robert and Elise after a night of drinking at the Crawl. 10,000 each.
Well, there you go.
And another 10 to me.
The sneer that makes its way onto my face doesn't hold as much heat as it usually does. Just a bit of friendly ribbing. Though I still wish he wouldn't tattle. Of course, it was my fault for mentioning the money. Wasn't like anyone will notice 30 grand missing from millions, though. That's how much I spend on a normal weekend.
Oh, must you be such a teacher's pet? I told you not to talk about it.
I'm having second thoughts about moving to the penthouse. If this is what you do when I'm not looking.
I've almost forgotten about that little arrangement, too. Shame. Hopefully that's the reason why she's so intent on glaring at the table until its varnish peels off. The alternative would be sobering.
It was that one time. I'm not a child in need of minding or mother hens. As much as I'd love for you to stay, you said you need some time to yourself. Don't let the fact that I lost a bet once make you think I have to be supervised.
It wasn't. I'm just worried about you, Luke. I'd be less so if you actually sat up.
Why are you worried about me? I'm more concerned about what your doctor told you. How did the house call go?
I didn't want to intrude on her privacy when the doctor arrived, a ridiculous sentiment, considering I am still her husband. But it wasn't like I could have done any good by being there, what with nursing a hangover and all. However, a part of me feared what would be said, not to mention I trust that Hannah would tell me if it is something serious. Of course, it probably is something bad, and I would be a fool to hope otherwise. I found her having a seizure, for goodness sake. Should have rushed her to the hospital as soon as she awoke, but it was her insistence that kept me at bay. A cup of tea finds itself in my hands, an attempt to appease me, no doubt. But I don't bother to drink, let alone look up. If anything, I just press my forehead onto the table to hide the childish pout on my lips, not that this is any better.
It was fine. The physician took some of my blood, and he scheduled me for a few lab tests tomorrow morning. I've already called for a driver and attendant to accompany me, so there's no need for you to worry.
And what? You'll just be leaving me behind then? And I don't think you should be going anywhere alone.
You hate hospitals even more than you hate farms, Luke. And Kylie's coming for your play date tomorrow, remember?
Oh, no, don't let that bitch come here. No, I don't feel good about that.
Relax. I'm taking Johans with me if it makes you feel better.
Oh, no. Nothing about this makes me feel better.
Herr Dr. Hobbs asked that I keep her under observation for the time being. Naturally, I'll be reporting my findings at the hospital.
Sitting up, I run a finger over the rim of my teacup and mull it over. I do hate the bloody place. I thought hiring Shrocken would have been enough for me to avoid the place. Apparently not. Bloody doctors and bloody sick people, I don't want to catch anything contagious. Can't even tell crying people to shut up if they get too annoying. Respecting their grief, my arse. Save for a life-and-death situation, I'd rather avoid the mass graveyard that hid beneath the sterile air and white tiles.
I guess you two can go without me. But I can't believe how naturally you two conspire behind my back. Don't expect my help if those bloody doctors bleed you two dry. Vampires, every single one of them. Not as bad as lawyers and politicians, but close enough. You do know Carly will be upset when she finds out you're not here tomorrow. Again.
She'll be happy enough to spend time with her fairy godfather, I'm sure. You're a good role model for her, despite your whining.
No matter how many times Hannah claims that whining is unbecoming of me, I never listen. It's not like anyone that matters here is to judge. Well, it's not like anyone else actually matters. I'll whine if I bloody well want to, and I'll be no lesser because of it. Of course, I will not tolerate another person's whining. Except perhaps for Hannah, but she hardly ever does that. Even right now I can see as a look of pain passes on her face and her hand goes to her stomach. Yet she keeps quiet, not bringing it up or complaining. Well, let's see. I'll save. I don't necessarily care that much about Luke and Hannah's relationship. It's kind of shit at the moment. I guess we'll ask if she's alright. Can't hurt, right?
Are you alright? Should we be concerned? Maybe we should bring you to the hospital now.
Gave me some points with her. Not that that really matters, because Hannah and Marianne are maxed out, so I'm assuming something will come of that at some point.
I just feel a little queasy, that's all. A bit more tea in me, maybe some more sleep, and I'll be right as rain.
Spent a lot of time around people who lie for a living, and I can't help but feel that there's more to it than just that. Yeah, it's a ghost. Maybe it is just as she says, and I'm overthinking it. But I trust Hannah will fess up before things can get any worse. She's never really lied to me before, nothing big at least.
If you're sure, I'm just worried. You'll tell me if anything is wrong, right? You do know you can still trust me. That I do still care about you?
I know that, I'm just going to be moving out soon. Even if it is for a short while, you won't always be there for me.
Did you finish packing before you... I understand you haven't. And I won't blame you if you've changed your mind after what happened. You can stay until you feel better.
I'm still moving. It isn't like you can't visit to check up on me. Although that does somewhat defeat the point. Luke, I'm a big girl. I'm going to get a checkup tomorrow, take whatever pills they tell me to get, and get over it. You really don't need to worry. I'm fine.
Oh, I do so hate those words. I hide my scowl I hide my scowl by taking a sip of the tea, fighting off the urge to hurl the cup at the wall. I'm fine, she says. A lie. Apparently the sour disposition I have, one not entirely born from my hangover, is still obvious. Without saying a word, Hannah puts her hand on mine and squeezes it tight. Her hands are cold and clammy, her grip is weak. I can see the small tremors that run along her shoulders and the paleness of her cheeks. She has yet to recover from what happened to her. She's not fine, and I'm not either.
Fine. I don't need to like it, but fine.
I don't think either of us really like it. But I do think it is for the best.
Perhaps we should bring you back to bed. The sooner you're off your feet, the better.
Is that some sort of roundabout way of saying that you want to sweep me off my feet and take me to bed?
I hope not.
This isn't our honeymoon. I need rest, mister.
I'm aware that this is the farthest thing from our honeymoon. This isn't how things are supposed to be. Hannah isn't supposed to leave. I'm not supposed to let her. And if she ever did leave, it's supposed to be on my terms, of course. Everything is just going wrong. But I respect her enough to let her have her space, as she puts it. If divorce is brought up, however, well, that's another matter entirely.
Really now, you shouldn't have gotten up in the first place. Breakfast in bed exists for a reason. Come on then, back to bed you go.
Are you going to carry me to bed then?
You're far too heavy for that.
Oh,
Your husband
jeez.
can carry you, if you'd like.
Wow.
Can you blame me if I enjoy food too much? I can walk, thank you very much.
I don't say a word as she clutches my arm to steady herself. Alright, let's read this journal entry. I think this is going to be a good spot to go ahead and end off the episode after we read this journal entry. Oh, wait, there it was. Here we go. Come Sunday morning, Luke woke up with a huge hangover, to Hannah's utter displeasure. Regardless, she informed him of her plans to see a doctor back at the city, something her husband immediately worried about, which she allayed with gentle reassurances. Alright, guys, well, with that change of scene, I think this is a good time to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. We are finally on Luke's chapter, and I can imagine this will go on maybe, I don't know, 5-6 more episodes, something to that effect. And then we will potentially be done with this game. It's been a long time, but I'm very anxious to see how this is all going to end. And I hope you are too, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and make sure you're subscribed for more of the letter. We are definitely coming up towards the end game here, and you don't want to miss how this story turns out. So next time, we will continue on with the Luke chapter, and hopefully get some more answers, and probably some more ghosty shit, because that's what this game is all about. So thank you guys. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.